Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in. We are Maverick Consulting, and today we're going to tell you about the Mars model and mini-use issues. First, we're going to give you a history of the Mars model, its benefits and limitations. We're going to tell you about mini-U and their issues, as well as the importance of solving these issues. And finally, we're going to offer solutions and analysis. Now first, an overview of the Mars model. It stands for motivation, ability, and role perceptions, as well as situational factors. Now these four come together and explain why employees act and perform the way that they do. What is Mini-U? It's a children's recreation and summer camp program. It's run through the U of M. It's offered to kids ages 5 to 12. This program relies heavily on seasonal staff. They lead the activities and supervise the campers. Now, why are we applying the Mars model for Mini-U? It's going to help explain staff performance, burnout, and turnover. Now for a quick history of the Mars model. It was developed in the early 2000s by Stephen McShane and Marianne von Glenow. These are two OB experts. The Mars model is derived from two major predecessor models, the ability, motivation, and opportunity model, as well as the person situation model. In short, the Mars model was developed as an easy-to-use tool. It helps organizations understand what drives their employees and how organizations can align their goals effectively.
The M in the Mars model stands for motivation. But what is motivation? It's internal forces that affect a person's voluntary choice of behavior. Benefits of motivation involve higher performance because individuals who are more motivated generally perform better, higher job satisfaction as they feel a sense of accomplishment and purpose, lower turnover rate and absences because they have the persistence to continue on, improved teamwork because motivated people want to encourage others to work toward the same common goal. Limitations involve the fact that motivation alone isn't enough due to the Mars model theory that if one component is weak within a person doing a task, then the task performance will in turn decrease. Having an excessive desire to perform can cause stress and unrealistic expectations. Different things motivate different people, making it more difficult to enforce motivation in a large group. Only motivated by the rewards isn't enough because the focus is taken away from the purpose and meaning, which is more internally rewarding than the actual rewards, and fluctuations in motivation. Some people can be more motivated with one task than they are with another. The A in the Mars model stands for ability. Ability is the aptitudes, learned capabilities, and habits required to successfully complete a task. Benefits of ability include higher performance. Individuals who have more ability to do a task are more likely to succeed. Faster learning and adapting to a situation involving better decision making and better problem solving. So high ability people can quickly solve problems and make decisions more accurately with fewer errors. Greater innovation. Abilities can help people generate more ideas and be more creative. Higher job satisfaction and engagement. This happens because when abilities match the job, people feel more confident and confident with their work. Limitations of ability involve the fact that ability alone isn't enough due to the Mars model theory. Over-relying on people with more ability to do something causes unfair distributions of work and possibly burnout. And there are limited ways to teach certain abilities or abilities that are unteachable.
Moving on to role perception. Role perception is an individual's interpretation of their work role, including the tasks, goals, and responsibilities believed to be a part of their job. Benefits of understanding role perception. More accurate and efficient job performance, as employees know exactly where to direct their efforts, therefore preventing wasted time, energy from doing the wrong tasks or doing them incorrectly. There's also improved coordination and teamwork, helping employees work safely and effectively with coworkers and stakeholders. This also leads to higher motivation, as employees are more confident their work will lead to expected results. And there's also greater confidence as individuals perform better when they clearly understand what's expected of them. Now, some limitations of role perceptions is role clarity is enough. Even if employees know their roles, poor motivation or insufficient ability can still reduce performance. Now, there's also overly rigid roles, as too much structure can restrict flexibility and creativity. Employees may actually be hesitant to step outside their defined roles or tasks. There's also misinterpretations and confusion. People may still misunderstand or interpret things differently, and if tasks or expectations shift without proper communication, employees may still feel confused or lost. And role overload. If employees clearly understand expectations, but those expectations are unrealistic or excessive, it can lead to a burnout. Moving on to situational factors. Situational factors are conditions beyond a person's short-term control that constrain or facilitate behavior. Benefits of strong situational support include higher performance. When external barriers are removed and tools are available, employees can work more efficiently and effectively. It's also reduced stress, as a supportive environment minimizes frustration caused by missing resources or unclear processes. There's also greater consistency, as standardized procedures and stable work conditions lead to fewer variations in performance. Also improved safety, as adequate resources and clear environmental conditions reduce workplace hazards and accidents, and better team collaboration. Situational support such as communication systems and shared resources allow teams to coordinate more successfully. Now, some limitations of situational factors is situational support alone isn't enough. Even in the best environment can't compensate for low motivation, unclear roles, or low ability. There's also overdependence on resources, as employees may struggle when environments change or if they become too reliant on specific tools or supports. Situational factors may be unpredictable. External conditions can disrupt performance unexpectedly. Now, not all situation needs can be provided. Organizations may lack the budget or capacity to supply every resource employees may want or need. There's also environmental distractions. Factors such as loud workplaces, interruptions, or overcrowding can negatively affect performance.
So now that we understand a little bit about the Mars model itself and the benefits and limits, let's take a look at Mini-U. So Mini-U is a children's and recreation summer camp at University of Manitoba. So it actually has some fall and winter programs, but the bulk of their work is summer camps. They split it up into 3 different age groups. You have your 5 to 7s, also called minis, your 8 to 11s called juniors, and your 12 plus, which we call seniors. So these campers can register in sports camps such as basketball, soccer, hockey, and so many others, or special interest camps such as science, crafts, video games, and they'll spend half the day doing program-specific content. So if you're in a science camp, you'll spend half the day doing science stuff and the other half of the day doing gym games, because a big proponent of their organization model is active living as well as leadership development and helping equip kids with new social skills. At Mini-U, there are over 150 seasonal staff members with 8 permanent members, and most of the issues come with these seasonal members. So as mentioned, a lot of these issues do come with those seasonal members, and some of those issues can be looked at, those overall staffing issues like the shortage and turnover. It's really hard to find quality staff who can engage with kids at such a high level for so long, and you don't really know the exact amount of staff you're going to need in week 1 versus week 2. So Mini-U has not that many campers in week 1, roughly 500, so they need a lot more staff, but week 2 is one of their busier weeks with 800 staff. So that variable demand makes it harder to keep staffing levels consistent, and also there's staff turnover and retention issues, and that's because of the emotional task. Like I said, it's really hard to find quality staff who can have that high level of engagement with your kids 8 hours a day for 9 weeks, and that's why a lot of people end up quitting or silent quitting and showing up to work and not being as good, which we'll touch upon in a second. There's also the lack of support with how busy the full-time staff and the supervisors are. You don't always feel fully supported, and the programming constraints. Staff are pigeonholed into doing that specific 3 hours of science content or 3 hours of specific gym games, which makes it harder to adapt. And like I said, there's that quiet quitting issue with work. Staff start to keep on coming to work, but they don't have that same create the magic attitude. They start to sit on the side and watch the kids play more, which is a major issue for Mini-U's business model. So those are some of the quick problems that they're facing. However, the good news is there are applicable solutions.
The Mars model is highly relevant to Mini-U staffing problems because it helps explain why employees' performance and retention is falling apart. The model explains that employee performance is shaped by 4 key factors: motivation, ability, role perception, and situational factors. Motivation is weakened by a lack of support, low pay, and emotional exhaustion, leading to reduced employee enthusiasm, energy, and long-term commitment. Ability becomes an issue when new staff discover they are not fully prepared to complete the tasks at hand, like supervising children for long periods at a time. Role perception has also proven to be unclear, as staff feel pressured to follow strict programs that do not match the attention span and needs of the children. Situational factors like unpredictable attendance, frequent schedule changes, and daily sick call-ins make it very difficult for the hardworking staff to succeed. Overall, applying the Mars model to Mini-U reveals several underlying factors that contribute to the declining employee performance, satisfaction, and commitment at Mini-U.
To create some solutions for these issues, I will be using the Mars model. First, I'll focus on motivation. Mini-U deals with several motivation-related issues. Staff often call in sick, they quit quickly, and many experience low energy or burnout. There is also some pay dissatisfaction. To help improve motivation, Mini-U could start offering bonuses for staff who consistently go above and beyond. This kind of recognition can make employees feel valued and seen for their hard work, which can encourage them to stay engaged. Another solution is to create a system where returning staff receive raises. This would reward loyalty and help increase the number of staff who come back each year. In the long run, this can reduce turnover and build a more committed team. For the next part of the Mars model, I'll be going over ability. A lot of Mini-U's problems come from the staff not really being prepared for what the job is like. Some aren't ready for how emotionally hard it can be, some struggle with performance, and a lot of staff find it tough to keep kids engaged for long periods of time. One way to fix this is by improving how they hire people. Instead of just reading resumes, Mini-U could ask better questions like, tell me about a time you had to keep young kids busy for a long time. That kind of question helps them see if someone actually has the right skills. Another thing that would help is letting new staff shadow someone experienced. This gives them a chance to learn what the job is really like before putting them in charge. It can also help them decide if they can handle the emotional and physical parts of this job. After people are hired, Mini-U could offer better training, especially on how to manage big groups of kids and handling stress. Doing weekly check-ins could also help because staff could bring up concerns early and management could give them support before things get worse. And finally, to help prevent burnout, Mini-U could switch up staff roles once in a while, like changing age groups or rotating activities, which this would keep things more interesting and can help staff stay engaged instead of getting bored and overwhelmed. We will now be going over role perceptions. One of the problems at Mini-U is that some staff aren't totally sure about what's expected of them. They're not always clear on their responsibilities and they have to follow really specific programming. And sometimes staff end up sitting out instead of actually participating in activities. A simple way to fix this is that making sure everyone understands their role. Staff should know exactly what their job includes and what the expectations are. Management could also give staff a little bit more flexibility with activities. This would help a lot when kids are getting bored or disengaged because staff could adjust the activity instead of feeling like they have to follow the plan exactly. Having that freedom can make the job feel easier and help the kids stay more involved. For the last part of the Mars model, we'll be going over situational factors. One of the biggest issues at Mini-U is staff shortages. People call in sick last minute and that puts a lot of pressure on the rest of the team. A simple fix for this would be hiring someone call staff who can help step in when someone can't make it. Another problem comes from the parents. They get frustrated with the prices and especially how hard it is to register their kids. The website sometimes crashes and the whole process can be confusing. To improve this, Mini-U could fix or update the registration system or even switch to a new one that works better.
So when we take a quick look at our solution, it's composed of that stronger hiring, training, and weekly coaching through looking at the behavioral interviews questions and that one-on-one weekly coaching, clear expectations and flexible programming, and that on-call staff. And it works because it recognizes those excellent performers. The fact that shadowing employees or current employees will help reduce the burnout and improve those role perceptions, and it creates a smoother environment that supports consistent performance. And then lastly, we know that staff development, job fit management, and feeling connected to the program is going to motivate employees to return, which is exactly what our strategy does.
To conclude, here's a quick recap of what we discussed. The Mars model has proven to be very effective to diagnose issues within Mini-U. The 4 factors are essential for understanding why employees perform the way they do. We have found failures in the 4 factors, such as staff motivation is low due to lack of emotional support and compensation, ability is low due to insufficient training, role perceptions are unclear leading to confusion, and situational factors, such as high employee absence rate, leads to a stressful environment. Solutions such as performance-based recognition to improve motivation, behavioral screening process to strengthen ability, specific duty explanations to clarify role perceptions, and creating an on-call team to properly manage absences to improve situational factors. We are confident that by implementing these solutions, Mini-U will build a strong, foundation for the future. Thank you.